First of all, a huge thanks for the reaction to my first video. I had around 1500 views in the first 48 hours, which is amazing, so as promised, I will keep these videos up. Aston Villa's win over Crystal Palace meant that Steven Gerrard became only the second Aston Villa manager to win his first two Premier League games in charge since John Gregory in 1998. The Crystal Palace game turned out very similar to the Brighton match, as we saw Villa only have 37% of the ball compared to the 36% possession they had against Brighton. This highlights that Steven Gerrard's first aim has been to improve defensively by being compact and forcing the opposition to play in safe areas of the pitch. Their next test, though, will be much harder as they face current Premier League champions Manchester City. But how exactly do Aston Villa and Steven Gerrard go about beating them? So Man City's formation is often deemed a 4-3-3, though Pep Guardiola has a very fluid style of play, and more often than not we see them break teams down in what more closely resembles a 2-3-5. The two centre-backs form the back two. This will most likely be Diaz and either Stones or Ake to replace the suspended Laporte, who picked up his fifth yellow card of the season at the weekend. Their two full-backs, likely Cancelo and Walker, move inside and form a sort of three-man midfield with Rodri in the central pivot role. The two free eights, as they are commonly referred to, push up very high in line with the front three. This is often Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. The front three then consist of a sort of false nine, who along with the two free eights will look to drop into positions between the lines, and then two players who will remain very wide in an attempt to stretch the defence. In order to understand how Man City attack, we first need to look at how Pep likes to divide the pitch up horizontally into 5 areas of play. The central space is often deemed the most dangerous part of the pitch, and as such, defending teams will often congest this area, making it difficult to find space for the attacking team. There is often more space available for players in the wide area of the pitch, though this means that you are further away from the goal, and more importantly for Pep, the restriction of the touchline means there are limited passing options available. This is where the half space comes in, sitting between the central and wide areas of the pitch. Here, there is more space available to play in than the congested central area, and there is a full 360 degrees of passing options available. What you often find is that the two Man City fullbacks occupy this area of the pitch, as it gives them a good angle for a cross, as well as many other passing options. No doubt this will be a job for Gerrard's two number 10s to try and manage and restrict. Whilst Pep will avoid attacking in wide areas, he does still utilise them in order to stretch the back line. For example, if the ball goes out wide, Cash or Target will need to go and press the ball, and the whole of the Villa defence will need to shift across to stay compact. Whilst in this movement phase, you will often find one of the free eights run into the gaps created between full-back and centre-back to get in behind the back line and into the half space. Another common movement is the false nine making a decoy run to pull a centre-back out of position. This, in turn, creates space for one of the full-backs to find a pass into one of the free eights in a dangerous position. Now, these are just two of hundreds of attacking plays that Pep has worked on with his team, and so there are a few key things for Villa to do to combat this. First, Tyrone Mings and his communication will be critical. Often the loudest player on the pitch, his instructions will be important in keeping the whole Villa team organised, ensuring, as Gerrard said, that they get their distances absolutely bang on to ensure no gaps appear that can be exploited. Secondly, Villa's midfield three and their two number 10s will both have important roles. As mentioned earlier, the two number 10s will need to press and restrict any central or half-space passing options for the Man City midfield three consisting of their pivot and fullbacks. At the same time, the two wider players of Villa's midfield will be tasked with tracking runs of City's free eights, leaving the Villa CDM then to deal with City's false nine dropping deep to receive. This, though, will require 100% concentration for the full 90 minutes from every single Aston Villa player. If Villa can restrict Man City, how do they then go about scoring? Well, Man City are a difficult team to counter-attack against. Another reason their fullbacks move inside is that the three-man midfield they create can then suffocate any counter-attack before it can even develop. This will mean that Villa will often have to go long, but this could play perfectly into the hands of Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings. They will need to run the channels well and hold the ball up to relieve the pressure on the defence and allow Villa's attackers to move up and support them. These chances are likely to be very limited though, so the Villa attackers will have to be extremely clinical on the day. One other area Villa might look to exploit is earlier on in Man City's build-up. If Villa's narrow front three can restrict the passing options of the two centre-backs, this will force a centre-back to step up and carry the ball forward themselves, whilst keeping their head up to look for any gaps opening. Villa could look to target either Stones or Ake, and as they step forward, apply a very aggressive press to win the ball in a dangerous position. This was how Zaha scored the first goal for Palace in their win over Man City. One thing is for sure though, Gerrard has had a great start to his Villa reign, and no matter what the result on Wednesday, we should stay confident that we are moving in the right direction. Thanks for listening, and once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I have some really exciting ideas for future videos, including player-specific ones, but please do let me know if you have any video requests in the comments below.